Hello, Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here's your weekly market report. All the sales pretty much were closed last week due to Hurricane Ian. There were some sales in North Florida, and they weren't affected that bad. We canceled our sales down here in Arcadia and Okeechobee last week, and we were open this week, and we came back to work, and people asked, well, how'd you fare? How'd the storm bother you? And we get phone calls about how the storm bothered us. And yeah, we had some debris, some tree limbs, a little bit of things like that here and there. But, you just hate to even complain about anything, because all you do is just your heart and your prayers go out to the people in Arcadia and Fort Myers and all over there on the West Coast, because it's just pure devastation. And you hear these stories about these cows that are drowning and in water, and it's just completely sad. Just sad, and we feel for those people that what they're going through. And here we are back to work, and we're glad of it. We're so grateful and blessed to be able to come back and not have damage, and be able to move around and have an auction on Monday and Tuesday. And because we were closed the week before, we did have a pretty big week. Monday we had over 1,600, and Tuesday we had over 1,600. So that added up for a pretty good week, and I think maybe we caught up a little bit from being off the week before. A lot of the buyers I heard talking about the cattle, they were concerned that the cattle may have been stressed from the last week, and from the water and the flooding and conditions that the cattle and the animals have been through. Even not only the people, but animals had to go through all that stuff too. But anyway, it's dry over here in Okeechobee, if you can imagine that. It's crazy. That whole week, I think with the hurricane included, we may have got 3 inches. And just to the west of us, 50 miles or less, they got 20 inches, which is just crazy to have a hurricane and not have any rain with it. But we're happy to be here, and the market conditions is just kind of a shell-shocked week, and it's hard to say what prices were. You can't hardly compare them to 2 weeks ago, because conditions are so much different. And I think it'll take another week or two for things to kind of get back on an even keel. We did have a lot of butcher cows. I thought maybe cows might be in pretty good demand, and they were, but the supply just kind of overtook the pricing of the cows. There were just so many of them here, they kind of backed off a little bit towards the end. I think we had some cows that brought up in the upper 70s for the most part, for the better end. Might have been an 80-cent cow here or there. So they were definitely a little bit cheaper. Had some good slaughter bulls that came through, and they're still bringing way over $1 for those big old bulls weighing a ton. So that's pretty good price there. Feeder calves, we had a lot of plainer cattle that were a little bit difficult to trade, but we had plenty of buyers. They were all here, and we got them all sold. The good quality calves, which we had some of them too right offhand. I remember Butler Bluff, Bob Butler and Will, and those guys, they had some outstanding calves. They were a little bit, they didn't have any hump to them, but had a little bit of brangus in them. But boy, there were some of those calves bringing $1,000 or better, but they were weighing 6, maybe 7, some of them. Good cattle. And there were some other people too that had good quality cattle here, and they held their value pretty good. Some 5-weight calves were bumping up there around $1.70, $850 to $900 on the better end of those 5-weight calves. And like I said, just a lot of plainer cattle that probably they might have been. They looked higher. They looked cheaper price-wise, but they brought a plenty for what they were, I guess you could say. So let's hope that next week this thing settles down and all the buyers will be back in and not worried so much about the flooding and the bad conditions, and just kind of get back to business. But it's going to take a while for Hardee County and DeSoto County and all them to dry out and get all that water gone. Even the Kissimmee River is up over the 100-year floodplain, or it was last week, and you hear people talking about and before the storm ever even came, that the river was high. And why don't the people that are managing the water and the lakes and all, prepare for these storms and let some of that water out and get that lake down to a level where it can hold all this storm water that's fixing to come on them. I don't know, sometimes science and models and books tell you something different than what your old timers and the old way of life. People know what water level is and where it should be before a storm is coming and all, but we'll leave that to the experts. Let's see what else is going on. This is bull sale month in Okeechobee. This week on Friday we have the Deer Valley Farms Angus bulls. That sale will be here at Okeechobee Livestock Market at 1 p.m. this Friday, October 7th. And lunch will be served at noon. And then we'll have about 60 head of really, really good Angus bulls. They'll be low birth weight bulls. You can buy for your heifers, or some of those bulls you can just put on your cows, or whichever way you want to use them. But they're good and they'll hold up good, and they'll sure do the job for you. So that's Deer Valley this week. And then October the 14th will be the Little Creek Farms and Friends, the Brangus bulls from Tommy Taylor and Eddie and Gretchen. There'll be 3 different breeders on that sale, and those are some really, really top, outstanding Brangus bulls. That's on the 14th. And on October 21st, after that, will be the Charolais bulls from Shane Eaton, Eaton, Eaton Charolais. This will be the 3rd year they've been here. They've been sending bulls to Florida for a long time, but we've just started having their sale the last couple years. And I know we've personally bought some bulls there from them, and they have held up and got some good calves out of them, and they'll do you good too. That's the Charolais bull sale October 21st. And then to wrap it up, the last Friday of October will be the Sutphin bull sale, and he'll have mixed breeds. He'll have 3 or 4 different kind of breeds of bulls that'll hold up and do you good. There'll be some red-hided bulls, there'll be some black bulls, and some Charolais bulls. And that'll be October the 28th, and that'll wrap up the bulls. But if you need one, come see us, and if you want to give us a call and find out more about it, you can call the office, 763-3127. You can go to our website, OkeechobeeLivestockMarket.com, for more information, and I hope to see you here at the bull sales coming up. The top prices for the week, we had Clyde Crouch and Caleb Humphreys partnered on some cattle. Had a little old calf that weighed 170 pounds that brought $2.35. That calf was bought by Reynolds. And on the cow side, Overstreet Ranching, that's Rawl and Whalen and the gang up there in Kenansville, had a big old cow that weighed 1,400 pounds, and she brought 86 cents. She was bought by Florida Beef, and that's your market report. Thank you.